there. Hey, we're live. How are you doing, Stacy?
Wow, I'm great.
Wow.
How are
Yeah,
you?
doing great. The crew's out here. We're part of the Spokane Realtor Association golf tournament, charity golf tournament for Second Harvest. So we're out here
Hey,
supporting. We're playing. We also have a Tee Box sponsorship up on the first Tee Box, which is that way. You guys can't see it, but it's that way. So we're just enjoying the morning. I'm glad we're playing in the morning because it's getting up to like 100 over here. So
yeah, exactly. I just set up at like 6 a.m. You guys rocked it. So we'll
yeah,
get that on out on social to share. But I wish I
for
was there.
sure.
It looks
Oh
awesome.
yeah, it is awesome. A full group of real estate agents out here supporting Second Harvest. It's great to see people back at it again, supporting their communities. That they did during COVID, but now we can get out and actually support them in an active way. So it's super fun to see. But
Yeah.
yeah, so we've got a great show today. We're going to talk rates really quick. Rates ticked back down just a little bit, a 0.09%. I can't share the Freddie Mac survey because it will freeze me, and mobile is a little different than sitting at my desk. They ticked back down. Stacy, you get to win the week. I think we need a
Wanting to
tally board.
win.
We need
Yeah.
a tally board somewhere because you would be like way ahead right now, way ahead.
There's
So
no catching up until the market totally changes, and then you beat
yeah,
me for the next 2 years.
yeah. I'm waiting for the quantitative easing to stop next month or slow
Yeah.
down next month. Then we'll talk. Then we'll talk. I'm going to punt until next month.
We'll see. Yeah,
So,
we have but so it's still a good time to refinance. It's still a good time to buy. I take calls weekly where people call me and say, I want to lock in, and I'm like, great. Where's your application? Oh, I haven't
right,
applied.
right.
So first step, even if you don't know what you want, like apply with somebody. So when you get that
Yeah,
notice or you're watching us and we say rates dropped again, you can just call and lock it in. Because when the rate drops even 0.09, like we get inundated with apps, right? Like Keith is so busy. You can't
yeah.
just drop everything and take that. It's better just to have your application in. Wherever you guys want to go, go, and then lock when you're ready.
Amen. Amen. Just be ready to lock though. That's the key.
Yeah.
When that rate
Mine will
shows
talk
itself, you got
today.
to be ready to
Yeah.
go.
Yeah.
So right
Good.
on. Well,
Cool.
hey, we're here in the second Thursday of the new quarter. So we started Q3. I can't believe 4th of July was just last week, and here we are off and running. So we are doing our quarterly update. And to join us today, I'm going to add the screen. I think I did that right. Darcy. Oh, yes. Good. Yay. So working technology on the fly is always fun. Darcy, welcome. How are you?
I'm working technology on the fly also, so you're good.
I know.
Nice.
Where
I'm trying.
are you, Darcy? Are you at? Are you doing something in someone's house?
I'm in Seattle. I am at a pre-inspection right now.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well,
So
we
really
appreciate you
quick,
being here and figuring out technology on the fly with Keith.
yeah, first question that I want to ask you because, not everybody knows what a pre-inspection is. Let's start there. What are you doing at pre-inspection? What is that?
That's a great
Good
question.
question.
So it's something that's done commonly in this part of the country. It's not something that's even heard of in most of the country. However, what we have done here is one way to look more appealing to a seller when you're putting an offer in is by waiving inspection. But if you don't want to waive your inspection, you want to have an inspection, then you do the inspection before you put your offer in. That's called a pre-inspection. That allows you to know everything you want to know about the house and put your offer in knowing what you will want to fix, what kind of expenditures you'll have there. So this particular house that I'm in, it had a seller provide pre-inspection. However, there were some things that I thought were lacking, so we went ahead and did our own pre-inspection.
That works. That works. So the pre means pre making an offer. So
Yep.
that's where that pre comes in.
So that
Awesome.
tells me, at least in that part of the market, it's shifted a little because 2 months ago there was no time for a pre-inspection.
Yeah, so it's been an interesting year. It's been a very, very interesting year as it's like a roller coaster. So towards the beginning of the spring market, which is like February, March, April, that was was crazy because there was so little inventory that, yeah, people were trying to do pre-inspections, but people were offering so much money beyond the asking price and waiving everything that sellers were oftentimes enticed to take an offer before they even looked at multiple offers. Think about it. If somebody's offering you 250, 300,000 above what you're asking and there's no contingencies, they waive everything.
Sold to that guy.
Yep. So we were kind of in that market. And then we started finding that, wait a minute, everybody seems to want to do that. So we encouraged our clients, like, let's wait for the review date. Let's slow it down and wait for the review date. You might do better. And when that happened, we were getting like 25 offers per house. I mean, it was crazy. And pre-inspections were happening. Most people do not want 25 pre-inspections done on their house. So it's very common right now for sellers to provide an inspection that the buyer's welcome to use as their own. But if they still want to do a pre-inspection, they can ask and they can do that.
So in this case, you did have a pre-inspection done by the seller, but it just wasn't up to your standards.
It was not up to my standards. There
Fair
were
enough.
some things in it that just kind of, nope, I don't particularly like that. And that happens every now and then. I don't blame them. The seller's not, they're trying to disclose things and give you information, but they're going to show you the top level. They might not show you underneath, right?
Yeah.
So just my inspector is a lot more detailed.
Good.
So then we got to a market where things were kind of lightening up. We weren't getting 25 offers anymore. It was now like 3 offers and sometimes no offers on review date. So I know a few cases where their agent encouraged them to wait for the review date and nobody else offered, and those sellers ended up losing out on a substantial amount of money if they had accepted the offer when it was first submitted.
This is where the game show womp 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 comes in, right?
Yeah.
Swing and a miss.
It's complete swing and a miss. And that's rough. One of them, I know they lost out on $150,000 extra. That's significant.
And I'm sorry, you said that's because they accepted too early?
No, so on this particular one, they got an offer before the review date. That was $150,000 above asking.
Okay.
They decided to wait for the review date, and that's rolling the dice because the person that submitted the first time did come back, which sometimes they don't, but they did come back and they put in an offer, but instead of saying straight out 150,000 over, they put an offer in at asking with an escalation clause.
Escalation.
And there was nobody else that offered to get the escalation up. So they got it 150,000 less than they were willing to pay.
Oh, dang.
Good for the buyer.
Yeah. Yep.
So that was a few weeks ago. Now we're at a point where I feel like it's a mixed bag. Some things are picking back up. Like I had 8 offers on a house. I was only expecting to have 2 or so. I had 8 offers on a house. I think we ended up 62,000 over asking. Earlier in the year, we were seeing like 100, 150, 200 over. Now we're seeing 20, 50. It's just not quite as extreme. And sellers have to be prepared that they might not get multiple offers. It doesn't mean it's not a seller's market. It's completely a seller's market, but you have to price yourself right and you have to set yourself up the right way in order to capitalize on that.
What does price it right mean to you?
Yeah, so in different markets, it means different things. So your agent has to know what's happening in the current, like not even 2 weeks ago, current market. I have some stuff that's going on the market next week, and we've talked about pricing 2 months ago, a month ago, 2 weeks ago. We're going to make that final decision just a few days before. So if everything is selling 15% over asking, let's just say, I'm just throwing that out, and you price where you think it's going to sell, everybody that's interested in the house is going to expect it to go higher. So they're not going to say, no, I'm out. This isn't worth it. So you have to price it a little bit lower than where you think it's going to go in order to get the people in the door, in order to get the multiple offers. And it's a gamble.
It's like that perceived value. But to that point, I've had buying clients that are pre-approved. They're like, well, it's right at the top of the last one that sold, and then it's going to escalate above that, so we're not going to even offer, and they move on to the next one.
Yeah. And
Yeah,
there's some self-preservation in buyers with that, which I completely understand. But a lot of it is how the agent set expectations. So I have no problem writing lots of offers for my client, and I'll tell them, listen, I don't think we have much of a shot on this one, but what if we do? You really want it? Let's go where you're willing to go. It doesn't hurt me to write the offer if you want the house, but let's not cut that off before we even get to the table, because if you don't put an offer in, there's no way you're getting it.
that is the truth. That's the super truth. Tell me how much of the offer, the multiple offers, right? We're talking 15, 20 earlier in the spring. Now we're looking at 2 or 3, 5 multiple offers, which is, to your point, I want to reiterate, it's still super a seller's market, right? Super a seller's market. But, is that because there's more inventory? Have the inventory numbers peaked back up into our summer months, or?
It's a real combination right now. It's a combination of there is a bit more inventory, along with there's a lot of people that got so fed up that they just said, I'm renting again. I can't do this, or we're just staying where we are. A lot of people left the market or took a break from the market. The kids got out of school. They're like, hey, let's take some time off. And frankly, that the heat wave that we had there, some people got some good deals during that because they were willing to go out and look at houses. Other
Cheers to that.
people were like, it's too hot. I just can't do it. And I know one of my buyer's agents, all of his appointments that weekend got canceled. Great for those people that went because they probably picked up some
Wow.
I
stuff.
would think any house with AC would have just sold.
Right?
Yeah,
Totally. I would
totally.
have been like, open house AC, stay as long as you want. The pool is open. Come on
Yeah,
out.
there's a pool. Yeah, there's also a
So
flip side, and I don't see this a lot, but I've seen a couple of houses in the Bellevue King County market where they seem priced very low, like extremely low, and I'm like, okay, are they just gambling that they're going to get another 2 million? Like, it doesn't even make sense how low it is, right? What is that strategy?
yeah, so sometimes it's just an inexperienced agent or somebody who used to have lots of experience who is kind of doing their retirement thing, like putting on whatever comes their way. They're just not too involved anymore. Sometimes it's well, if the seller is only expecting that much, let's put it on super low and then we'll wow everybody. You have to be careful with that though, because the people that can go as high as you want it to go are probably not looking in that really low price point. So
Yeah,
it's a
you
juggling
miss
act.
them.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
So super important.
There's a lot of thought that goes into that. So right now we are seeing some houses that are not getting any offers. I expect to be putting an offer in on a house today that didn't get any offers on their review date. Sometimes when
And
I
is
do
that,
get
and
an
I'm sorry to interrupt you, Darcy, is that kind of everywhere? Is that the Snohomish, King,
everywhere,
Pierce market? Everywhere. Okay.
everywhere. It's
Yeah.
everywhere in our region. I will say when I talk to realtors from all over the country, because I am very dialed in across the country, they're still saying they're having appraisal issues and they're having all sorts of things. We're kind of caught up. We're not having the appraisal issues that we were having before. And I think Keith and Stacey, you can probably attest to that.
Yes. I mean, the only appraisal issues that we have right now are turn time. It's not about value. It's about
Right.
very busy appraisers trying to get them back. So
Yeah. And I would say when we were, it was reasonable for this time frame to think that it would appraise for 10% over asking. I've never seen a market that's reasonable before, but this time we have. So, and this is what people don't realize. I think that it's easy to be an agent, and I have seen the market shift significantly multiple times this year. Where if you're not working daily with multiple clients, you don't see that happening. It's hard.
Yeah, I agree with that. There's a lot of moving pieces right now, and I would say it's just as hard right now as it was during the mortgage meltdown and all of that to stay up with the market, to stay relevant, to stay in the know about what's going on. So it is no small feat. So tell me this:
No,
what
we
should we?
try to really educate. Sorry, Keith.
Oh, go for
Keith
it.
and I really try to educate people on the importance of having a really educated, strong agent, professional agent, right? Because you need that to navigate all of it. I mean, you just saying understanding how to read a pre-inspection report or an inspection report and be like, I think we should do something else. We should get another one. Like, I don't know. I honestly don't know a lot of agents that would do that. So I think clearly you're just on your. Did someone say great point? It's making me say on point. You're on point with what you're doing. So we definitely want to direct clients your way for sure. Yes.
I'm okay with that.
Sorry, Keith. What were you going to say?
So what are we looking forward to in Q3?
Oh, well, I consulted my Magic 8 Ball, and it tells me what it always does. It has no clue.
Nice.
Outlook is
Check back later.
cloudy. Yeah, check back later. Everybody keeps on talking about all of this inventory that's coming up. I don't see the inventory going up nearly as high as people talk about it going up. So
I mean, what's days on market right now?
Okay, so days on market can be a little deceiving because I've seen days on market on average being something like 12, and that's not really accurate because you have the pieces of land that have been on market for 3 years. You have the house that is falling down that somebody's asking $7 million for. That's just never going to sell. You have so many
but
things
you could
that
develop that, Darcy. You could put like 7 units on it, of course, right?
It's kind of crazy what there is. AJ. So it's kind of crazy what drives those days on market. So I would say we're still at a time where we're expecting houses to go on the market on Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday, and reviewing offers Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday the next week, and the days on market is drawn out because they're waiting to look at reviews.
Mm.
So it's actually shorter than what it's stated.
Way shorter.
Yeah. Yeah. Jay actually put in our chat, he's saying 5 days.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it sometimes like there's a house I'm moving, but I'm in a rental right now, right up the street. It listed and it was off the market the next day.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Crazy. That was a week ago. So it's still
don't blink, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
A lot of the country does not do review dates, or they're brand new to doing review dates. And I've seen in those areas, places are selling in like 45 minutes. Also, a lot of the country has what we call coming soon. We do not do coming soon listings here. So we, as realtors,
why is that? I love the coming soon feature when I'm dreaming about moving to Southern California.
Yeah,
it says coming soon in 5 days. We're gonna list this house, and I'm like, oh, I can't wait to see it. And we don't do that.
Our
They're
MLS doesn't allow it, and it's a little bit controversial. But the reason why they say they don't allow it is because it encourages off-market deals, and off-market deals is not necessarily in the best interest of the seller. So if you're representing the seller, usually their best interest is to introduce the house to the market, everybody at the same time, and let everybody see it and evaluate it, and then you get your best offer. It can be frustrating to us, though.
Is that a Washington thing, or is that a Seattle or Northwest multiple thing?
I'm not really sure. I feel like I know it's a Northwest multiple thing. I feel like it might be across Washington, but I do not know that for fact. And part of it is our Northwest multiple is so huge. I mean, I travel a decent amount for sales, and our Northwest multiple is pretty much from the Cascades west. So I don't really go on the other side there. So, and it's other MLSs on the other side.
Yeah, it's really
Nice.
interesting how it's different everywhere. But yeah.
Yeah, I think most people don't realize that every area has its own MLS. Our MLS is quite huge, but I have agents that work in other areas of the country that have to belong to 3 different MLSs in order to cover their small territory. Jamie's saying
interesting,
she does
Jamie.
see that in the Southwest area. So yeah, so maybe it's just our multiple.
Interesting.
Although
What about, have you
way to
seen
go.
that case in Idaho at all, or Spokane?
I haven't looked really. I've noticed it in other states because I work with a lot of investors in like Oklahoma and Tennessee, and they have coming soons, but I haven't noticed it on this side of the mountains.
So
Review dates is also shocking that other states don't do that, because to your point, that's a way to get the best offer, but
yeah.
I think that others don't do that.
So I'd say about 2 years ago, we were the only ones that I knew of across the country that did no coming soon. And in this past year and a half, multiple areas have started saying they're not doing coming soon. So I do find that in many ways, Seattle's a trendsetter for how we approach the market, and things happen here first. For when the market shifts, it tends to shift here first.
Yeah, we're market shifters for sure. We love it. We're shifting. I don't think that's what we want to put out there, but
No.
Oh man, yeah, it's going to be a wild ride into the spring and or not spring, into the winter and the holiday season. So we'll see how.
I mean, everything I've heard is it's going to stay this competitive pace for in the next year. I mean, I haven't seen anything different. I don't know, Keith, have you for the winter?
Not at all. Not at all.
Yeah, I think it's going to stay very competitive. The people that are looking for houses will shift, and it amazes me how much group mentality we have. And I've said this before, everybody seems to decide to do the same things at the same time. So everybody, sometime in August, everybody's like, okay, let's take vacation, and the market just dies for 2 weeks because everybody's on vacation.
Yep, the last 2 weeks of August into Labor Day weekend. And then the day after Labor Day, they're like, oh, we needed to buy a house last month, so let's buy a house by the end of this week. Okay, let's go. So, yep. I've prepped my team for that. I'm like, you guys, if you're going to take some vacation, the last 2 weeks of August is when you're doing it. Because when we get back from Labor Day, it's gung-ho, off we go.
Sometimes September is a little bit slower because kids are starting off at school and things like that. But just if your goal is to buy a house, when you get worn out and worn down and you want to stop, don't stop because everybody else is stopping then.
Good advice. Yeah.
Keep at it. But yeah, it's my favorite calls are in September after Labor Day. It's literally the Tuesday after Labor Day, and I get the calls of, hey, I just dropped my kids off at school. I need to get pre-approved. I'm like, game on.
Especially this year, since we can actually drop kids off at school, right?
I think we're going to have a lot of call volume.
We're all buying like desks from Home Depot trying to figure out how we're going to make this work. But yeah.
Yep, true that.
Crazy year. Yeah.
Well, any parting knowledge that you can give us here, Darcy, going into the summer months? Other than keep at it. I love that. You just keep offering.
Keep on swimming.
Just keep swimming. Just keep swimming.
Thanks,
Disney.
I think I see a lot of people getting the bug of like, I need to buy, and making stupid choices. Don't let the market control you. Stick to what you want. Stick to your values. If you're the type of person that needs an inspection, don't go for something that doesn't have one.
True.
You know, I've seen too many cases this year that people have got wrapped up in a rat race and they're like, yes, I won. And then a few weeks later, they're like, what did I just do?
Are you saying those people put the houses back on the market, or what are you saying? Because I don't know anyone personally, but I've heard of people that bought, let's say, in other states, and now they're like, oh, I actually do have to go back to the office. So I'm reading that they're coming back.
I haven't really
seen. He's teeing off right now, I think.
Yeah, he's teeing off. Tough life. I haven't really seen people putting them back on the market, but I have seen a lot of regret. I've also seen a lot of lawsuits.
Oh.
People saying, you know, I mean, I can't, this is a generalization, but people being like, oh my gosh, they forced me into this. Well, nobody's forcing you to sign paperwork, right? So we're seeing a lot of lawsuits against agents. Nobody's making people make a decision. But
true.
It gets a frenzy attitude that the decisions start to be made hastily.
So they're suing the agent for them making a bad decision.
Essentially, yes, and they'll couch it as something along the lines of.
I see your smile, Keith. I had to ask, like, confused.
They didn't.
That happened in lending a few years ago.
Yeah, right. They'll say things like, "Oh, well, they didn't tell me that I had the right to get an inspection, so I wait. They told me in order to get the deal, I have to waive my inspection, so I waived it. I didn't realize I could do an inspection." Well, that's kind of stretching the truth usually. So it's sometimes pointing fingers, and fortunately I have no lawsuits against me. Sometimes there's very, very good lawsuit reasons against the agent, against other people. However, we're seeing a massive increase in lawsuits right now, and I think it's largely because people are regretting some of the decisions they're making.
So I don't want to I just have one final question on this actually. So as a lender, if someone is upset with us, you can actually look up mine or Keith's NMLS and find our whole history, where we worked. I don't think it shows where we lived. The state knows where we lived, all of it. And you can
complaints
see
filed against us.
Complaints, lawsuits, all of it. Is there a place so a consumer knows, like, okay, I know Darcy's grades. Like, can they look you up somewhere? Like, they can look us up or not?
It's not the same.
Okay.
You know, I'm sure they can probably call the Department of Licensing and get some information, but it's not readily accessible. Like,
it's not public. For us, it's public.
I don't know that it is public. I could be wrong. I've never been confronted with that before. Most people look at reviews online and don't go to one source. You know.
Yeah, and I don't really I would say, my advice would be try to find a true, really close friend or family that trusts someone if you don't already know someone in your life. And that could be an inspector, it could be a lender, it could be an agent, anyone in the business, right? And see who they recommend. It kind of stresses me out when people put on Nextdoor, looking for an agent. It's like, oh, I don't know. And then people do just share, don't use this person, don't do this. And it's like, you don't even know these people. Yeah. So I recommend truly trying to find someone that knows them.
It also amazes me how many people just click a button on Redfin or Zillow and just have an agent call them. It's scary to me. Sometimes it works out great. Sometimes it really does. But in my entire career, I've only had one person ask me directly for references.
Wow.
That's crazy.
And I've also only had one person ask me directly, how long have you been doing this for, and how many deals do you do a year?
Those are basic questions that you should be asking any and all agents. Absolutely.
It's hard though, because we're in the business, right? People buy 1 to 5 houses in their lifetime, like maybe.
Yeah,
that would be a
yeah,
lot.
maybe.
Yeah, they don't know. You just don't know. So.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. You don't know what you don't know.
So true.
So, right
This was
on.
awesome. Keith, when you dropped for a minute, did you just tee off? Because Keith is the tier offer for this team.
No, I didn't tee off. Yeah, I've been sands playing golf for the last 2 holes, so we're back up at a tee box now.
Okay.
Yeah, our friends over. I think you can see that. Yeah,
Yep.
Those are our friends over at First American Title, so
Okay.
they're out repping it. But yeah, so it's we're backed up, so I'll be able to jump back in there. So I have no idea how they did on the last 2 holes. So, but
Well,
anyway, well, Darcy.
We appreciate you, Darcy, joining us from your pre-inspection. I hope it goes well.
Absolutely. Enjoy that pre-inspection.
Yeah. And hopefully you can take it out in August when the rest of the world does.
Yeah, I hope so.
I hope so for you.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah.
I did just schedule a vacation in November, so looking forward to that.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, right on.
Too long. Yeah.
Well, thank you all, and
Thank you,
Darcy, we'll catch you on the Q3 roundtable in September. No, that would be October.
Yep.
So
October.
right on. We'll enjoy, and we'll catch you later.
Sounds great.
All right,
Have a good day.
guys. Have a good day.
Take care.
See ya.
Oh, did I do it right? Yay! Well, there you go. Another beautiful day in the neighborhood. Still a seller's market. So if you're looking to list, now's the time.
For this. Cars
Yeah, well, at least at this location.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. so
next week,
right
we'll see everybody at Thursday at 10.
Sounds good. See you next Thursday.
All right. See you, Keith.